The first step will be logging into Amazon Management Console. So I have already logged into AWS Management Console. So I'll show you how to log in. Just go to Google, type AWS console. So you will be seeing a link here. So if you just click on this link, you will be prompted to enter username and password. And once you have entered username and password, you'll be getting a screen similar to this. You'll be getting a screen similar to this. So here, what we need to do is we need to go to services. In services, what you need to do is you click on EC2. EC2 instance is nothing but it is like a VM. So these VMs are called as EC2 instance in AWS. If you see here, currently I am into Asia Pacific Mumbai region. This Mumbai region has two availability zones. This availability zone is nothing but is similar to data center. So I'll be creating virtual machines that is easy to instance in Mumbai region. So for this, I'll be clicking launch instance. So here I'll be selecting free tier only. So we have Amazon Linux, Red Hat Linux, SUSE Linux, Ubuntu, Windows. We have all needed OS. But in this demo session we will be using Red Hat Linux. So I'll be selecting this. Select. So this is the instant type that we are going to use t2.micro. If you see here, if you scroll down, you can see a lot of instant type. Each instant type will vary based upon its configuration. So for example, if it is t2.micro, we will be having one virtual CPU, 2.5 GHz Intel Gen family processor, and one GAB memory. Similarly, all will be having the various kinds of configuration. Since this is for demo purpose, we will be using a free tier. So next what I'll be doing is I'll click on configure instance details. So the number of instance is one. So I'm going to create four yeah, virtual machines. So I'll just replace the one with four. I'm not going to make any changes here. So but later we will be assigning some elastic IPs. I'll let you know what is that in coming sessions. At this point of time, just we will be making this 1 into 4, which means we'll be creating four virtual machines at a single point of time. So next is add storage. We are not going to make any changes in the storage space. If you look into one type, you will be having three type: general purpose, provisioned IAPS, and magnetic. Um, so in this demo session, we'll be using general purpose SSD. So I'll make, and I'll not be making any changes here. Next I'll be pressing add tags. So in add tags, what I'll do is I'll just create Ansible demo, Ansible demo session. Okay. So this is just for a reference. So next what I'll do is click next configure security group. So here I'll be creating a new security group. So already it is marked in new, create a new security group. What I'll do is I'll remove this and replace with Ansible demo. Description, it is not a problem, it can be like this. So I need to add some rules. Already SSH has been added to this, and protocol is TCP, and port range is 22, and the source is custom, and this is IP range series. So next I'll be adding ICMP. This is for testing ping connection across Amazon nodes. So I'll copy the same value here. So there is a note over here. Rules with source of that this value allow all IP address to access your instance, which means that it will allow all IP address to access your instance. So the next thing I'll review and launch. So if you see here, I have selected the images Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.2 instant type st2.micro. Security group will be Ansible demo. And that we have two rules SSH and ICMP. Instant detail will be creating four instance, and storage would not make any changes. Um, we'll be using the normal default configuration what has been provided to us. And tags, it will be Ansible demo. Yeah, fine. Next we are going to I'll be clicking on launch. So now here if you see here, right, it is asking for select an existing keeper or create a new keeper. So what I'll do is I'll create new keeper. New keeper. This keeper is used for logging into the Amazon machine that we are going to create now. So I'll give this as demo key. Demo key. I'll click on download keeper. So once it is downloaded, what I'll do is I'll click on launch instances. Now if you look into this view launch log, all would be successful. Creating security group successful, authorizing inbound role successful, initiating launcher successful, applying tag successful. So if you come down, you can see the status of the instances. Just click on view instances. So just I will do a refresh here. I'll click on instance state. Now I have created some other virtual machine and I have terminated it. So it is there in the history. It goes automatically after some time. So these are the four virtual machines that you have created now. So what I'll do is in the beginning, in the first stage, I will add a name to each virtual machine. So this we keep it as master server, Ansible master server. Let we keep this as uh, web group. This we make it as app group. Let me make this as DB group. Okay. Now we have just given name for all four virtual machines. This is just only for identification purpose. Since it is very much hard for us to remember the instance ID, so if we map name to each instance ID, it will be easy for us to differentiate between each host. So if you look here, right, so there are we could see public IP as well as private IP. Each instance will have an public IP and private IP. Suppose if I stop this machine and if I restart it again, if I restart it again, this IP public IP will not be retained. It will be get removed. A new public IP will be assigned. You will see here. So what I'll do is IPv4 public IP. Just I'll copy it and put it in a notepad. So what I am going to do is I'm going to stop this machine. So once after stopping this public IP will be removed, and if I restart the machine again, this public IP will not be retained. It will be replaced by some other public IP. So we will see this now. So to stop this, you need to go to action, instance state. Now I'm going to stop the master server. Stop. So are you sure you want to stop the instance? So master. So this is for identification. This is instance ID. This is the name that we have created. So what we'll do is we'll use a stop. It will take some few seconds. I'll wait for a few minutes. So you can do a refresh here. So in this case, if you assign an elastic IP to this particular instance, if this particular VM has an elastic IP assigned, and in case if the server is stopped and started, this public IP will not be changed. That is the advantage of using elastic IP. So if you see here, right, this elastic IP is not assigned. So what we will do is once the server is up, when the server is started, we will assign elastic IP to each virtual machines. Now it has been stopped. So this public IP is removed. Now what I will do is I'll go same thing. I selected master. It's already been selected. I'll go to action instance state. I will start it. Are you sure you want to start this instance? Yes. So when I start this public IP, I'll be getting a new public IP. So to avoid this, I will be assigning an elastic IP. If I assign an elastic IP, even if I start and restart it, this public IP will not be changed. It will retain the same public IP. But the key point that you need to make a notice, you can check in the user guide of Amazon, like using Amazon Elastic IPs. So just there is an important point needs to be noted there. Just make a note of this point. To ensure efficient use of Elastic IP address, we impose a small hourly charge if an Elastic IP address is not within running instant. Suppose suppose if you assign an Elastic IP address and if the instance is stopped, you will be charged based on hourly basis. So if you are about to stop the instance, you need to just release the IP address. If not, you will be getting charged by AWS. So this is one of the point that you need to make a note while using Elastic IP address. If you go and see here, you can see the pricing of Elastic IP address. So now we'll go here. It is restarted. Just I will refresh it. Now if you see right, there is an installation process going on. If you go and see the status checks, you could see what has been going on. This checks monitor your software network configuration for this instance. It will take some time. Now if you see right, this is a new public IP assigned to this instance that we restarted it now. So I'll copy this IP. And if you see the IPs here, it has been changed. So to prevent this, what we'll be doing is we will be assigning an Elastic IP. So once we allocate an Elastic IP, we could see the same public IP replicated in the Elastic IP column. Still it is in installation stage. Let me refresh it. Okay, let me wait for a few more minutes. Meantime, what we'll do is, okay, it's started, not started. So I'll open this demo key and I'll try to log into this machines. Show in folder. So I'll open this. So I will open this key. What I will do is I'll copy this key to the workstation. Just I have one VMware workstation. I have configured a Redhat machine on this. So what I'll do is just I will log into this machine. I'll open a terminal here. Just I'll log in as root. Be giving the password. I go to temp VA. What is the name of that key? V demo key.pem. VA demo key dot insert. Oh, copy it. Go to the workstation. Okay, now it is copied. I will save it and I will clear it. Okay, this should be demo demo key dot. I made a mistake, typo error, so just I will replace the demo key with demo key. Here, let's see. Okay, now the permission is read. So as per the recommendation from Amazon, we will change the permission of that key file. So to log into that machine, what you will do is just go to connect. So if you see here, the permission should be chmod 400 demo key.pem. So what we will do is we'll change the permission chmod 400 demo key.pem. Okay, now the key has been paged over there. Before that, what we'll do is we will assign the elastic IP and we'll make a note of that IP. Okay. So now it is cleared. When we start and when we stop and start, this public IP will not be retained. There will be a new public IP assigned. To overcome this, we need to assign an elastic IP. So to assign an elastic IP, what I'll be doing is I'll be going here. I'll click on elastic IPs. So what I'll do is allocate new address. Allocate a new elastic IP address by selecting the scope in which it will be used. Okay. I'll select allocate. One elastic IP is allocated. We have still we have three more virtual machines. Total we have created four virtual machines. So we will need to have elastic IP for all four virtual machines. So allocate new IP address. Allocate. But mostly this since this is a demo purpose, we no need to just create elastic IP since we are not going to start and stuff. But to a known purpose, just I'm doing this task. Okay. Now we have four elastic IP assigned. What we will do is now I'm going to associate each one of this elastic IP to the each VMs. So what I'll do is I'll go to action, associate address, instance. First we will assign it to master. Select that particular private IP of the master. What I'll do is associate. Okay, close. Next action, associate. Next I will assign the group. Come in and key. So I'll assign the private IP of that. I'll assign associate. I'll press close. I'll go to action, associate address. I will press app group, select app group. I'll select the private IP of that and I'll associate it. Next we need to allocate for DB group, associate address, select an instance. Next DB group, select a private IP of that, associate. Okay. Now we have allocated all four IP, elastic IP to the all four VMs. Now we go to instances. Okay. Now I'll click on master. So if you see here, right, this public IP4 will be matching to the elastic IPs 35.154.180.215. It will both will be same. So even at this point of time, if I stop and start, this public IP will not disappear. Will be having the same public IP retained. So what I'll do is I'll make a note of this public IP and private IP. This public IP is used for connecting from internet, and this private IP is used for communicating within Amazon instances. So I'll copy this. We no need of this key as of time. We will close it. So we can remove this line. Okay. Here master the public IP is this one, and the private IP is this one. And this will be useful when we proceed further in demo session. So next it is web group, which is client one. So we'll be making a note of this public IP and the private IP is this one. Next client two is group. This public IP. Next is DB group. Next is private IP. So what I'll do is I'll change this as a web group. Web group DB group. Fine. Now what we need to do is we need to use this public IP to connect from internet. So what I'll do is I'll go to the VM station. Just I have launched VM here, which is running Redhat 6. So I'll log into this machine. So already we have just copied the key over there. So what I'll do is just maximize it a little bit. So I'll go to the management console. So first I'll go to web server. I'll go to connect. You see here, right, open SSH client. So this is not required uh, we have a workstation available, and we have just copied the key to the workstation, and we'll be connecting from the workstation. Since we have given us 0.0.0. We can access this virtual machine from any IPs. So what I'll do is I'll copy this. This is the key name. We have copied this demo key name.pem to the temp directory. And it'll be using an EC2 user default instance. Amazon instance will be using the EC2 instance. This EC2 user will be having sudo privilege. So I'll go here, paste it here. So now we are logging into the master machine using the public IP, which is 35.154.180.215. So if you see here, right, this one, 35.154.180.215. So just I'm pressing enter here. For the first time it lasts for yes. Yes. Now we are into EC2 user. See, right, ID EC2 user. By default it has sudo permission enabled. So just we can log in as sudo. Now we are into master server. So what I'll do is I'll change the terminal to ps1 is equal to master. So this is for our identification. Since we are going to connect to 4 machines, just we will make a note. So if we change the terminal name to master, it will be easy for us to identify. So I'll clear the screen. Similarly, what I'll do is I'll log into all other machines, other 3 machines. Open in terminal. I'll switch user to root. I'll go to temp directory, or I have kept the key. Similarly, I'll go to AWS management console. I'll close this. I'll go to this web group server. I'll click on connect. I'll copy this key. Oh, so I'll go to the source station. Just I'll paste it. Yes. Okay, now we have logged into the second machine. So we will give sudo su hyphen. We'll clear the screen. We'll set the terminal name to web group hash. Fine. Now we open one more terminal and log in as root. Just give the password. Go to temp directory where I kept the key. Just go to management console. Close it. Just come here. Just go to connect. Copy this. Copied it. Let's go to orchestration, paste it, enter. Yes. Okay, now you log into that machine. I'll clear it. ps1 is equal to, this is app group. Fine. Now I log into the last machine, which is db group. Just open terminal, su hyphen give the password, go to temp directory, where I kept the key. Just go to management console, close it. Just come here, click on db group, this connect. Just close it. Go to your station, just copy and paste it. Just type yes. Excuse me. Okay, now we are into the last machine. Sudo su hyphen to clear it. ps1 is equal to db group. Okay, now we are logged into all machines. So this is our master server. So now what we will do is we need to pass the SSH keys. If you see here, right? Now we have logged into AWS EC2 using keeper. Now we need to create user and share the SSH key from master to all clients. So now we'll be doing this. Now we'll be creating a user in all server. User add ns Ansible user. Set the password. Just give the simplest password. Now next we go to the web server group. User add Ansible user, password Ansible user. Next we go to app server group. User add Ansible user. Oops. We are not this root. Group user add Ansible user. Keep the simplest password. Next db group user add Ansible user, password Ansible user. Keep the simplest password here. Okay, now we have created a Ansible user in all 4 machines. So what we'll do is in master server alone we'll be just providing a root access for Ansible user. Sudo This is since we'll be installing Ansible in the server. So every time we don't need to just come out fruit and perform some certain task. So root do is insert Ansible user all is equal to all no password Ansible user to all no password fine, syntax is correct. I will save it, just clear the screen. Now let me switch user to Ansible user sudo -l. Okay, we have all privileges to execute. Now what I'll do is I'll create a key over here which will be shared across all machine. Currently I am in home Ansible user SSH key chain. Okay, now the keys are created. .cd.ssh file is create directory is created. In this we'll have private and public key. Okay, fine. Now what we will do is we will copy this key to all the three nodes. So at this point of time, we will be using the private IP. Since the communication is only between the Amazon instance, we will not be using the public IP. We will be using the private IP. So the first private IP is this one. Okay, SSH copy ID SSH copy ID. This is a private IP of the group server. So this is a client one server. So first time it will ask for password. What is it? Permission denied. Attempting to log in with the new keys to filter out. They're already installed. Yes. Since these are newly created machine, we might need to remove this password authentication in SSD config file. So what I'll do is I'll go into the currently we are in root, so cd /etc/ssh va ssd underscore config file. Just look for password authentication, permit this, and since there are two entries, even though the first entry will be overwritten, just it is better to highlight it. WQ. Okay, similarly do for all three nodes. So now we have completed for web group. We need to do it for app group. We are in root va/etc/ssh/. The last one is the DB group. We are in root directory. Fine. va/etc/ssh. Okay, we have made the settings. Now we need to restart the SSH daemon. So if we did not restart the change the configuration will not work. Since this is running with the /etc/redhat release, so we will be using system control restart SSD. Okay, so the same command will be applied to all machines since it is running with 7. You completed for DB group, system control, restart SSD. Fine. Next, we need to do it for our web group. Clear the screen. System control, restart SSD. Fine. Now it is restarted. Now what we need to do is we need to copy the keys from the master server to all client nodes. Let me see if you're able to log into the Ansible users. Fine, you're able to log in, no issues. So this is web group PS1 is equal to web group. Unless we are able to log in with, next is subgroup Ansible user. Yes, we are able to log in. PS1 is equal to group. Fine. Next we will log into DB group. Ansible user. Fine. PS1 is equal to DB group. Fine. So now what we'll do is we'll copy the key. We'll be using the private IP. Just for the first time, it will ask for password. Okay. So again, I'll try to log in 171.31.14.255. Yes, it is going in without any issues. This is a master server. We need to set this as PS1 is equal to master. Okay. Okay, this is the master server. Fine. Now we need to copy SSH-copy SSH-copy -id. The second node is app group private IP. Just you need to will copy this, paste it. Yes, for the first time it will ask for password. We'll just check it. 172.31.9.56. Yes, it is going fine. We'll clear it. The last one is the DB group server. We'll copy it. SSH-copy -id. Just paste it. Yes, lost with the password HP SH172. It is the connection to the DB servers 14.235. Yes. So the app servers, web group servers, and DB server are just for reference to differentiate between the ones. But we are not going to install any web related services or DB related services to that machine. Just that is only for our reference to identify differentiate between the host. Okay. Now SSH key has been shared across all nodes. Next, what we need to do is we need to install Ansible. The thing is that Ansible is a licensed product and we will not be getting free of cost. So what we will do is we will be just installing EPL report. This is from Fedora project. Actually, they provide it is an open source. Open source softwares are available for Linux and CentOS. So the steps are available over here. Just you'll go to this link, copy it, open the browser. Just will go here. So this is EPL. Extra package for enterprise Linux is open source and a free community-based repository project from Fedora team, which provides 100% high quality add-on software packages for Linux distribution, including RHEL, CentOS, and Scientific Linux. EPL project is not part of CentOS, but it is distribution of major Linux distribution, providing a lot of open source. Make note of this point. Open source packages. So we will be creating EPL repository, and from here we will be installing this Ansible. So if you go down, we can see the steps. Since we have since we are using Redhat 7, we'll be doing the steps. What we'll do is we'll copy this to notepad file. Just will copy it here. If you see, right, cd slash etc slash m dot repos dot d. There is no EPL repository configured. So what we will do is we will just first we will first install the EPL directory. So these are the steps. First, we need to get this wget. First, let me see if you're able to ping google.com. Yes, it is reachable. Clear. So first, what I need to do is I need to get this. I need to install this wget packages. So what I'll do is currently I am in Ansible user. Since we have given sudo permission, sudo yum install wget. Press yes. Okay, fine. We installed it. We will clear it. This will go to the snippet file. We will get this EPL repository from this command. Yes, we'll paste it. Oh, okay, we have received this file. Next, we'll go and install it. So to install this, we need sudo privilege, sudo paste. Okay, it is installed now. If we go to cd, we will clear the screen. What I'll do is I'll set alias. Fine, it is working fine. Now I'll go to cd etc slash m dot repos dot d. If you see here, right, this EPL dot repo is created. So now what I'll do is I'll install the Ansible packages. Sudo yum install Ansible. Just I'll give minus y, so that I don't need to give y at every time when it asks for dependencies. So if you see previously, right, we were giving y. Here we are giving some y to install the dependencies. Now I'll install the Ansible. This here Ansible is not available. Sudo yum install Ansible -y. Ansible works with Python. Okay, it is installed. Since I have created, yes, so if I proceed, it will be session will be cleared. So now let's see Ansible version. Oh, Ansible version. Yes, it is installed, and the default configuration file is this one. You go into this cd/etc/ansible. We could see the Ansible configuration file and host file and roles. We will not will in this demo session we will not look into roles. We will be looking into some basic ada commands as well as creating some basic playbook modules. Advanced session will be planned soon. Yes, I'm creating an video on that, and I'll share it as soon as possible. Okay. What I will do is I'll take a no, currently we are in root user. I'll use sudo copy ansible.conf2. I'll make a original file before editing it. What is it today? Date is uh, 03. Similarly, I'll copy the host file 03 dot 03 dot 12. Okay, now I'll open this file. Ansible will clear the screen. More ansible.cfg. So these are the parameters that will be passed inventory. This is the main thing that we'll be looking into. ETS Ansible host. So just when you have free time, just go through this configuration file. Uh, what I'll be doing is I'll clear all the contents in the host file. So it is not needed. We'll just put the host name alone. So what I'll put is we have created three different group. Web group, next is group, next is db group. So now I'm going to copy the private IP address, this group. This is a group. I'll paste it. Still copy the db group. And oops. I'll paste the db group here. This is the root I'm in Ansible, so you need to use sudo to this. Okay. What I'll do is I'll copy this. Copy. Just sudo va host. I will delete all this. Paste it. I need to copy the web group. Web group private IP is fine. Now let me see how the basic uh, command works. Now from master server, I'm going to see what are the hosts available. Ansible uh, hyphen hyphen list list hyphen host. So when I run this, these are the three hosts. These are the three clients available from master servers. One is app server. See right. Just I'll minimize it. So you can compare 235. 235 is DB server and 56 is app group and 255 is web group. So these three servers are available. Now what we will do is we will run a ping command and see if what would be the output of a ping command. So Ansible all means I'll be running for all three hosts. Hyphen all hyphen m is a module. I'm going to run the ping module here. So if you see right, the for all three server it is success, change it is false since it does not change any configuration value in the client machine ping pong. So that it is successful. So suppose for example, if I want to if I want to check only the app server group, suppose if you see right first, oh, sorry, cat. Here we may have in web group we may have since it is a demo purpose we have kept on machine, but there might be a chance in real time that there may be 100 machine in the web group. So if we need to just check only the web group server, what we need to do is Ansible instead of all, what we need to do is we need to put web group hyphen m module. The module is that we are going to run is ping m. See, it is running only for web group server. Similarly, it has to, if it is for app group, we need to replace this app group with a group, and similarly for DB group, we need to replace this web group with a DB group. Now let me run a basic ada command like running to see what is uptime of all servers. And see enable uh, all hyphen m. The model that I'm going to run is command hyphen a, and supplying an argument. I'm just checking the uptime of all machines. If you see here, the uptime is 47 minutes, 47 minutes, 47 minutes. So for all three servers. Similarly, if I wanted to run for only web server group, uh, Ansible web, web group hyphen m command hyphen a hyphen m sorry hyphen a uptime. So I'll be getting for only this single host. Now currently actually if you see right, it is using this default configuration file. This default configuration host file is under etc Ansible, since we will not be giving sudo privileges to all users in the server. So what we will do is suppose for example, if take consider that Ansible user does not have an sudo privileges. So at this point so what would be the solution? How can I ask, how can I create the host files? So there is an option over here. So instead of for that, what I need to do is I'm going in my home directory. So I'm coming out from, I'm not going to use the default configuration file. But you see the default configuration file is this one. Ansible dot, the default configuration file is /etc /ansible /host, but I'm not going to use the default Ansible host file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use the inventory file. I'm going to use the inventory file in my home directory. So for that, what I need to do is I need to create an inventory file similar to a host file. In this, what I'll be doing is I'll be adding only the web group, web group IPs, web group private IPs. Oops. I mean, it is Ansible, so I'm not able to do it. So I'll come to my home directory and just it is uh, use this. So I'm currently into. You can use either this or you can use /home/. Ansible user to cd, so that it will comes to the home directory. Now currently I am into the home directory and I'm creating an inventory file, inventory.ini, which is similar to like host file. So I'm creating a web group. So I'm going to copy. Okay, I'm just copied. Now if you see, right, previously we were running Ansible all hyphen m. Okay, now in inventory file you have created only web group. So what we'll do is we will add only web group. Web group hyphen m module, the ping that I'm going to set as ping. Okay, it is success. Now it is using the default configuration file under etc/ansible. Now I want to ask this Ansible command to use my own inventory. So what I need to do is uh, Ansible web group hyphen I tells us that I need to use this inventory.ini file, host file inventory.ini hyphen m, the module is ping. So this time it will be using the inventory file. Okay, in inventory file, what we will do is instead of web group, we will keep it as uh, db, as a map group or db group, so that it will be easy for you to differentiate. So we will put db group. The IP for db group is 172.31.14.235. So we will replace this with oh, with 235. Now if you see, right, first we have executed Ansible web group -m ping. This will be using the default configuration file under /etc/ansible. So here now in this inventory, now we are asking to use only, since I'll put it as now it is using 235. 235 is db server IP. So this inventory has only one group, so that even if you put all, it is just taking only one IP. So you can find the see the difference here. The difference that we need to put is hyphen I. So suppose for example, you can also put hyphen u is to define the user. Since we have not since we have not shared the since we have not enabled the password authentication for root user, it is getting failed. So it clearly says that Ansible works based upon the passwordless authentication. So similarly, I'll put it for Ansible user. Yes, now it is success since we have shared the passwordless authentication key for Ansible user. The second thing is we will try to create some basic playbook module. Actually, we'll Just what we'll do is we'll look into this file modules, and file modules we will look into this copy files to remote location, as well as also we will also look into this file set attributes of files, which is like creating directory, creating hard links, those things. So I'll give a demo session on this copy and file. I'm currently working to create an example for all this file modules, and I'll be sharing it within a week period of time. So I'll update it as soon as possible. Currently we will work it on copy, and I will work it on this file attributes. So I'll create a simple playbook for this too. So to create a playbook, it should be with uh, YML extension VM, some example example on that YML. So I'll put insert. Excuse me. Since I'm talking for a long time, I'm just not opening. So this three data represent that below anything will be considered as YML extensions. So, hyphen host. So I'll put this web group. So this 255 host. Next user is Ansible user. Next I'm going to pass an variable section. I'm going to create a task session. This name that I'm going to run is message copy. Message copy. Next I'm going to run the copy module, copy copy module, and the destination is ah, just be a space. The destination is home slash Ansible user slash test file. Next I need to pass the content tent. So now I'll pass this welcome message parameter to this content. Welcome underscore message msg. Fine, I'll remove the extra lines. I'll copy this. Cat example on .yml. So suppose if you see here, right, file modules, I'll go to this copy. Just if you go into this copy files, you can see some examples over here. So here we are using this content. So if you see here, the content is this is welcome message, and it'll copy this hi how are you message. This is the content here. So the destination is remote absolute path where the file should be copied to. So this is the destination, and we are passing the copy module since we are using the copy module here. So this is the copy module here. and these are the task. If this Ansible is defined into three section. One is the host section, other is variable section, other is task section. This host section and task section are very important. This variable section, it is not mandatory, but it is for it is mandatory. It is mandatory for some playbook scripts. Now what I'll do is I'll try to run this playbook. Now this 14.255 is web group server. So just I'll go here. This is the web group server. Currently I'm an Ansible user. I do not have any files here. So just going to here, master server. I'm going to run this playbook, Ansible hyphen playbook. And my inventory file. Entry data ini, entry data ini in the playbook name is okay. Yes, you see you're right. Since that invented data ini, we do not have that host file configuration. If you see you're right, this is a playbook. This is the IP that we have mentioned in the YML Ansible playbook 172.31.14. The task is okay, and the message copy is changed. And if you see here, right, the change value is equal to 1. If it is something like that, the value has been changed. Now we'll go into this app server. This group server. You will see this file is there, class test file. You see here, right, this message has been copied over here. So this is how the way the playbook works. Next we will just look into another one of the playbook. This is used for copying the creating the directories. Okay. So this is go to file models back here, and this is this one, copy file set attributes. This is the one that we are going. Now what we're going to do is this one, we are going to create a directory. We are going to create a directory. We are going to just assign a owner. We are going to assign a owner. We are going to assign a group. We are going to set the mode of permission mode. We are going to set the permission mode, and we are going to just state it to request, so that it is like mkdir-p, using mkdir-p. And the status, now we are going to create your directory. In the state, you can create a file, you can create a link. Link can be link is like a soft link. If it's directory is directory, hard is hard link, touch. You can do all this action using this state option. Now let's we create a playbook for this. Just what I'll do is I will copy this example under example2.yml. Yes, sir. We not need a works here. We do not need a work message here. Uh, just in First, name is equal to, what we'll do is we will create a directory here. Oops. We will just give a command as create directory, and this what we will do is we will remove all those things. This will press insert. Here, enter name. File is path is equal to /home /ansible user /www. State is equal to, we are going to create a www. We are going to create a directory in home /ansible. So we are going, the state is directory, and the owner is equal to Ansible owner. That is the reason I have removed the person who is going to create a task. Suppose if the username is equal to Ansible, and if Ansible user creates the user, it'll have the same permission. That is the reason. Just I have changed here. Is equal to Ansible user. Group will be also the same. Ansible user, and the mode that we are going to set for the directory is 0755, and the recurse security is, this is even if the create all subdirectory is mentioned in that path. Okay, we will save this file. Now we will run this playbook ansible playbook example 2.yml. I just made a spelling mistake wrong here. va example 2 dot va example 2 dot curc. Okay, if you see here, right, it is going to this particular host. What it doing is it is creating change is equal to 1, so that it has created a directory. So now I'm going to this web group server, and I'm going to see if you see here, right, this www is created. cdww is created. Similarly, what I'm going to do is I'm going back to master server. Let's see, just edit the example to YML. I'm going to add one more host to this, 172.31.14.235, I believe. We'll just cross verify. 172.13.14.235, yes, correct. So it is good. Oops. Now we will run the playbook again. So if you see here, the directory is already exists, so it says it is changed 0, so nothing has changed, but untouchable is 0, failure 0. So here if you see, right, the change is equal to 1, which means it has created the directory in the db group server. We'll go and see that. db group server, you see here, right, it has created March 13. So now we'll go to this. S- So if you see the time difference, right, it is 13.11, it is 13.12. So there is if the directory exists, it will not create it. It will create only if the directory is not available. So you can do there are a lot of option available here. Just if you just read all those things, you can just make working through Ansible. So if you see your right, you can create a file. File it is a soft link. So if link is just like it is if it is mentioned as link, the symbolic link will be created. If it is hard, you mentioned it as hard instead of direct, it is hard link. So similarly, it'll so you note that if the file will not fail if the path does not exist. Similarly, you'll have lot of important things, a lot of advantages. If you just read this, you'll be able to understand. But I'm trying in the meanwhile I'm just creating example for each and every model. I'll update it as soon as possible. I'll go ahead and I'll upload this video into YouTube. If needed, you can go and subscribe my channel so that you'll get an automatic update when I update some more video related to Ansible and AWS. Um, currently I'm working on a video how to just currently I'm working on a video on auto scaling and security groups and all those stuff. I'll be launching a, video within 2 or 3 days time period. So what I do what I want all you to do is just go and subscribe my channel so that you will get an automatic update when I upload any more videos in this. So thanks for looking into this video. We are closing this session.